I go to national meetings now and then on healthcare policy, and there's one guy from Wyoming who was actually went to Harvard College a year or two ahead of me, and has a cattle ranch that he pretty much took over from his father. And I own basically 2 farms in Cornville, which in Cornville land like that doesn't cost anything. But I mean, I've got something like 330 acres, and so I'm very proud of that, of my stature, if you will, and I brag about it in these meetings. And then he talks about the 30,000 acres that he owns in Wyoming. So we had this little dialogue the other day, and I said, well, just how big is it again? And he said, well, you get into your pickup truck and it can take you several days to get all the way around it. And I said, well, I once had a pickup truck just like that. This is I'll start this little discussion with a revealing story. I went down to meet Mitt Romney once. There were about 15 of us in a room. And he told this story about becoming the governor of Massachusetts. He said, I'm in the job for a day or two. And he said, my desk is clean, and people are coming in and out. The dancing is over. And he said to somebody who on his staff, so, he says, where are the reports? And they said, what? Well, he says, we're out putting people in jail, we're doing human services, we're educating kids. Do I get any reports? And they said, well, we don't really have anything that we use on a regular basis. He says, well, if I'm the chief executive officer of any business I've ever been involved in, I get profit and loss reports. I want to know how I was doing today compared with last year today, last month today. I want to know how the projections are, sales, expenses, blah, 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 blah. Reports! Well, inside of another month, they knew what he was talking about. But borrowing has a way, let me just say that borrowing has a way of creeping into budgets from every direction conceivable. It is a cancer. And so if you do nothing more than avoid deferring obligations, avoid borrowing anything more, and simply make sure that you're paying down on your mortgages as you go, and let nobody distract you from that, you will have accomplished a lot. Bring that. And they can't fight. Once you bring transparency and accountability into the game and begin showing people what government produces or fails to produce, man, you've got an instrument of great power. And it starts with telling them the truth. So you have to fight with information. You have to fight with truth. You have to fight with transparency and accountability. Those are your weapons. Those are your tools to engage the mission. And this is the thing. I've spent 15 years in the legislature, and I can't get this done as an individual legislator. And the legislature can't stop the chief executive from doing it. That's the beauty of it. The chief executive can insist on these modes of management because he appoints the people that implement these programs. There are about 1,000 people appointed by the governor. So you appoint people who have an affiliation with business, of a business perspective, who come forward with the capacity to count what needs to be counted, bring transparency and accountability into state government, and the legislature can't stop you because that's your management style. That's exclusively within the purview of the chief executive.